Shuba, Shuba, ooh, hey. Welcome to the Poetry Balls podcast with Tola Makonjola. How art thou? How are you? How's your family? How's life treating you? I assume that some of you are good, and I assume that the vast majority of y'all are struggling, probably. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I hope that my angelic voice, brings you some joy. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's another weekend. Yay! Why am I recording on a Saturday? I don't know. I'm not available tomorrow, so that's a valid reason. And I don't want to leave it to Monday, and then I don't do it, and it's a whole thing. So I thought, I'll release the episode today, since I've actually got like 30 minutes. I've got to leave the house, but yeah. What do we talk about? Well, it's okay. So here's something I can talk about. I can't talk about anything, but I can talk about this. I think I now know what people want in regards to conversation, right? So I went to the clinic the other day, the GP for British listeners, and to the rest of y'all, I went to the hospital. I know checkup, all that crap. And I went for a blood test, annual thing, whatever. Kind of doesn't. I mean, people don't like needles. I don't get that. It's kind of like life is painful sometimes. You got to take the pain and visit Dracula once in a while. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I went for my blood test. And the lady was really nice. She was like, "Oh, how are you?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm good. How are you? How's work?" She's like, "Oh, yeah, it's good." And then she went on to say, sometimes when people come in, they yell at me. And I was like, "Oh, why?" She's like, "Oh, because, of this new system of registering people, and they don't like it. They expect, competency." Apparently, I don't know. Well, she kind of said that people weren't always nice to her, and then she went on to say that a lot of the animosity that she receives comes from people of her own race. Guess there is. The race of this lady was the same as the race of me. So I said, "Yeah, that's how it goes." That's how it goes. But anyway, we kept talking, and she kept and then she said a little bit more and kept going. And for some reason, I was trying to hold my concentration, and I couldn't. So I tried. I did try. I did try to hold my concentration, but she was saying a lot, and not all of it made sense. But because of my sincere desire to comprehend her speech, I kind of smiled. I nodded. I was like, yeah, like wow, like I did all the fillers, all the greatest hits, and she liked that. She was like, she felt I was engaged in her conversation. Not in her conversation, her speech. And it kind of went in that direction of me just trying as much as possible to stay engaged, even though it wasn't obvious that to me that her sentences were coherent. I don't know how we got to that point, but that's what it was. And I found that fascinating because, it's not all the time that you can, especially when you're busy, when you're stressed, that you can communicate clearly. And this is why I generally hate people. Because no one gives me that, no one gives me that space to just talk. I'm not talking about the podcast, so don't be smart. No one gives me that space to kind of just vent and not make a lot of sense and just agree with me. Just even if you don't understand what I'm saying, you just kind of nod. Like, so here's an example of what I mean, right? So if I get into a conversation when I go to a store, and I need something that I can't find on the shelves, I go up to the butler and I go, "Hey, can you help me get this?" The person kind of looks me up and down and goes, "Huh?" And that really bothers me. Almost like almost like they're taking me in before, rather than listen to what I have to say. It's like, no, you listen to what I have to say. I'm asking a question. I'm asking for a request. I know my voice is not the most, it doesn't have the most clarity, but I am trying, and I expect others to try. I don't expect others to try as well. Like, listen in. But when you go looking me up and down and go, "Huh?" and making me repeat myself, it just makes me want to slap you. Don't make me repeat myself. I'm trying my best to be clear. Make an effort to listen. Don't be distracted by my height or whatever the hell. I don't know what goes on. Oh, I'm black. Fantastic. Can we get past that already? I know I'm black. You've met black people. Black people have met black people. It's not even a race thing. It's more of a people thing. People just kind of look me up and down and go, almost irritated that I'm asking, and I always have this look on their face like, "Wait, what are you saying?" I'm like, "Dude, just calm down. I don't know you. I'm not trying to rob you. Just listen to what it's a question. Do you have chips? Potato chips is a simple question. I'm not asking you to solve general relativity. I mean, give me a break, right?" So yeah, I feel I'm better than everyone else. And no. I'm being stupid, but I'm saying that I actually do make an effort to try to engage in a conversation. That's one of my feel good traits. I actually try to engage. Even if I don't know what you're saying, I kind of try to piece it together in my mind. Like, okay, she said she said like, she said dog, so I guess I never in the sentence like, I kind of like to kick dogs in the face. I can piece something together that, that makes me either agree or disagree or paints an accurate picture of what she's trying to say, right? So, or he or she is trying to say. Yeah. So that was my experience at the what was it, the GP. So people like to be heard. I certainly do, or at least I like people to make an effort to engage in conversation if you are having that conversation. But here's another side to that. I feel that as I've gotten older, I do care a lot less than I used to. Right. So when I was at university, you're 17, 18, you're like, gosh, like, how am I gonna engage with a new world and new people? You have very amateurish social skills, to put it mildly. You've been studying all your life. You don't, yeah, you don't have the tools necessary, but you do have something that can be developed, right? And I was at that stage. I was like, okay, I want to develop my ability to engage with people and yada yada yada. And I thought maybe if I just listen intently, they might say something that would prompt me to ask a question, or if I showed genuine interest in what they were saying, even if I didn't care about what they were saying. It's like just it's about the interaction more so than what they're saying necessarily. Usually, I mean, obviously that limits to that role, but it's like you want to engage so at least you can understand how to navigate that interaction. So I'll listen, and I'll listen, and they'll say something that was like, I like to, you know, jump off buildings at night. That's curious enough. So I'll go, oh, why do you like to do that? Oh, because when I was 5 years old, I thought I was Superman, and I still think I am Superman. And then I'll kind of look at them and, oh wow, that's odd. Why do you still think you're Superman, aren't you, Lou? So it's like you're just dragging it on, and you know, genuine curiosity in the person in front of you. We're all human beings, right? I don't feel that criticism is extended to me. I really don't. No, not for the most part, anyway. And that's something I have to live with. Yeah, that's why I can't stand people. Actually, it's just like, good grief, make an effort, make an effort. But people do like that. People like to be heard, and people like to feel like you're engaging with them, even if they can't tell whether or not you know what they're talking about or no. Like this lady at the GP, she was happy that I was nodding and smiling and making an effort. So she didn't really care whether I understood her. It didn't seem that way anyway. Israel, Palestine. No, not this again. Again, I pray for wisdom to prevail. That's what is sorely lacking in from every indication, from every bomb, from every bomb thrown, every explosion, every life lost, every UN speech, presidential speech, every LinkedIn post. People are taking sides. People are downplaying. Here's the thing about Israel and Palestine. It's one of those things, especially the nature of this particular conflict. Not necessarily the conflict as a whole, but this particular phase of the conflict. What's happened within the last 3 weeks. It's hard to make a joke about it. And believe me, I've tried. It's hard to make light of the situation because there's nothing light about it. It's all very, very dark. And there are human beings at the heart of it that are, there's nothing that says humor about this. And like I said, I've tried. That's the way my mind works. It's like, oh, murder, rape, pillage. How can we turn this around? You can, as it turns out, you really can't. I think time does that. Like maybe 20 years from now, some guy will go up on stage and say something clever, and everyone will applaud, and it's like, oh yeah, it's in the distant past, right? Now, admittedly, it's a little too fresh. But it is a huge crisis, and I do hope and pray sincerely that divine wisdom prevails in this situation, which is what I said last week, but it's still going, so I'll say it again. There's something weird going on, and I do think we're living in a dystopian world for a couple for a couple of reasons. I think we're in a dystopian world. I think it's slightly less dystopian than it was, let's say, in the Trump Maybe. I'm still trying to figure that out. However, when I see the news of on mass shootings, for instance, I don't read the articles. I don't really. I almost I'm in a mental state of avoiding or not even processing the news anymore. Right, there was a mass shooting in the U.S. in Maine this week, and I don't know. I think there were about 18 people who got murdered. Um, you go, yeah, everyone's numb to this. Everyone's numb to this, and that is dystopian. That's part of our reality. When people lose their lives in a meaningless way, and everyone goes, "Oh, what's the next channel?" Or they're flipping through the Instagram selfies while the news is blaring in the background. You go, "Well, this is odd. This is odd because it's not normal, right? It's not normal." And the more we keep that in mind, perhaps we might ultimately be able to escape the dystopia. But right now, it is dystopian because it's like, oh, wars. I mean, war's always been a part of reality, but mass shootings that can be avoided, some basic. I don't want to say wisdom. I just say just common sense. The reason why that's not happening is because of the NRA, I believe, and yeah, all the background forces. I mean, that's for me. That's dystopian. That's dystopian. And for those who are losing loved ones in this, I mean, this is more real than anything you can imagine. I mean, pain is not avoidable or deniable. Deniable is the right word. It's not deniable. You can't deny. You can deny that you love someone. You can deny that you are happy. You can deny certain things. If you're in pain, you're in pain. That's objective reality. And those who live with this sort of pain, well, first of all, no one is thinking about them. No one is talking about them. They're like stats, basically, just numbers on the board. In a game that no one cares about, right? At least in a basketball game, you're going, oh, my team is winning, my team is losing. But in this situation, it's like, well, just another mass shooting. Everyone feels helpless, I suppose. It's not because no one really cares. It's just like, well, nothing's been done. It's a part of our reality that we have to adapt to. That's frightening. That's dystopian. That's dystopian. And also the other issues that are dystopian. I don't know. I should talk about this, but well, I'll talk about what I can talk about. So. Again, you should be able to talk about anything, but the fact that you have to kind of sidestep certain topics and issues, that's dystopian, because the truth is the truth, right? And if you can't speak the truth out of fear of cancellation or aggression, I don't mind the cancellation. I mean, I mind cancellation. I don't know. I think it's there's a blind rage that comes with ideologues. That's part of the package of the personality and the movement. It's blind rage, and I don't want to say it's frightening, but it's like, gosh, like it's irrational, and it's like you're dealing with the devil, in a particular sense. I don't know. That's dystopian to me when you can't speak the truth, right? When black is white and white is black, it's like, well, and everyone goes, well, if I said black is black, then people are gonna think I'm I'm a terrible person or whatever, or I'm backward. I don't know. Gosh, this is. I thought my voice is meant to bring you joy, bring joy to your to your miserable lives. I'm talking about all these heavy topics. I don't know. That's what came to mind, and I'm talking about it. And you can switch off at any time. I don't mind. But okay, let's end with something light. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. Something very benign. TikTok is cool, I guess, right? It's kind of cool. For some reason, the if you post a video after, like, let's say you've posted for the very first time, you might get like 1,000 views, but you keep posting and you get, yeah, you average out at 200, maybe 230, and it's like, oh, you got to pay to boost, if you want to go viral. They always ask, do you want to go viral? Pay, pay to go viral. So we're paying for attention, basically. But still, 200 is a good number. I mean, if you have a good, I think it is. I think if you're producing something that's good, like I do a lot of drawings and stuff, I try to do on a daily basis. Like if I draw, I post it, and if I get 200 and it's a good drawing, then maybe I get a good amount of likes, hypothetic, and I get a follower. Ooh, someone follows me, a disciple. I'm kidding. But yeah, I get you can do you can do a bit of 200 if you have a good bit of content. So as opposed to YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts used to be great because you post and a decent amount of people view, maybe not up to 200, but sometimes you could get up to 1,000, sometimes 200. But now it's dwindled considerably. You're lucky. I mean, for me anyway, you're lucky if you get up to 30 people looking at your video, and that's not a good amount of people to judge whether your content is good or not. Because, like I said, you put that on TikTok and you get a good reaction. 200 is a good sample figure. YouTube Shorts, you get 30 and maybe you get 1 or 2 likes, and you're like, well, why do I bother? Right? No one really cares. It's experimentation, and it's the landscape, and yeah, you just keep going. You have to, again, for me, I don't advise, but my approach is I go long term. I go, well, and also try to see various points of value in what I do, right? So I like drawing. I want to get better at it. It's an opportunity. If I create it, then I just share it. I don't attach too much importance to the sharing side of things. I just create and I share. But the creation and the improvement is what matters most. And the portfolio, and you have a body of work that you can look back on and say, okay, well, at least I did that. Right? I didn't save the world, but at least I have a collection of drawings that I did, and they look okay. So yeah, I try not to attach too much importance to the social media side of things. It has its place for sure, but yeah, if you're battling algorithms, then you're probably going to lose, and you're going to get frustrated. You get frustrated, and then you're going to lose. So you have to be smart about how you approach these things. I'm drawing, I like it, I want to get better, blah 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 blah. That's what I gain from it. And if someone follows or likes or comments, fantastic. And obviously in the long term, people will stumble upon your work and they'll say, oh, that's not bad, that's okay, I'll like and comment or whatever. The idea is that you try to build a community around what you do. If you can do that, then fantastic. Then at least you can monetize and all that good stuff. But it does take time, definitely. And you have to, first of all, you have to have You can't if you go long term, then you've got to have all the commitments, things that keep you busy and keeps money coming in, on and on. Well, I've got to go. I hope I've brought some sunshine into your lives, talking about Israel and Palestine. Whoa. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Where does it come from? God knows. Literally, God knows. So ask Him for it. Leaders of Israel, Palestine, US, Canada. No, not Canada. Not Canada. Got to do with anything. France, Britain to a point, trying to feel relevant, sure. Wisdom to get us out of this predicament, especially the Palestinian people, because it's not funny. So, yeah. Take care, folks, and catch you next week. Peace and love.